Welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground, or welcome if you're joining us for the first time. SCG Round 11, Sydney versus Essendon, 7th versus 8th on the AFL ladder. Important game this, both teams 5 wins and 5 losses coming in. And the Bombers burst through their banner, and they are minus one big gun. Brent Stanton out, guys, but Ben Howlett comes in.
Yeah, the Bombers have won 4 out of their last 5, Dwayne. Their back line without Dustin Fletcher also through suspension. So a couple of big outs there from Essendon's team last week when they beat the Bulldogs. I really like the way they run and carry out of the back half. McVeigh's been solid in there. This skipper, Joe Watson, he would be leading there best and fairest. Alan Davey and Jetta, their tackling pressure up forward is going to be super today. Monfries, Ryder and Hill there also great ruck duels.
Well, they were top of the ladder back in round 6. They've lost their last 4. The Sydney Swans, important game for this, especially when you need to win them at home.
No doubt about that. They've lost the 4 on the trot and really need to bounce back today. Some really key players will be Kirk, Goods. The experienced players need to stand up today. The youngsters in Rowan, Hanbury and the likes of Smith have been outstanding. Mumford has been absolutely one of the boom recruits of the competition. 42 hit-outs last week and competes like there's no tomorrow. So he'll have his hands full with Ryder and Hill. But I think he can do the job. It'll be a very tight one, but they must score goals from their midfield if they're going to be any chance today, the Sydney Swans.
Finally.
And obviously Dustin Fletcher out of the side has been a star player for many years for the Essendon side, but he's been some great touch in recent times as well.
Adam Goods there, kicked 1 goal 5 last week. Tate Pears, look for Adam Goods. He really needs a big one to step up for Sydney, have any chance to win this game. Gary Rowan, he was terrific last week and starting on the half-back line.
We're underway at the SCG. Both teams 5 wins, 5 losses coming into this crucial clash. Jude Bolton gets the immediate takeaway. Jetta knocks it to his and Jack's advantage. Boundary line looming for Jetta. Got there quickly, takes them on and couldn't quite keep it alive, and we'll get a ball in.
Handy pickup from Jetta. Close to the boundary line, wasn't able to keep it in, but at high pace, got low and took the ball clean.
Mumford, front spot. Kirk, where he normally is, on the bottom of the pack, getting it out. Keith hacks it forward. Trouble the required 15. Welsh back into the lineup this week. Gives to Lovett Murray. Missed the attempt to target. Mumford dives in. Had 6 clearances. In fact, cleared a lot of his own work last week. Shane Mumford wasn't worried about getting his knees dirty, which some big men occasionally are.
Oh, he was great last week. Sydney's last quarter, they were terrific. They had 8 inside 50s last week, and it was about Mumford's ruck work. That's the reason why they got the ball in there.
And he laid a tackle there, was unlucky not to win a free, and lays another tackle to keep it tied in.
Well,
get a ball up.
He's the player that it's involved in this game so far. He's just wants to get involved. He's a competitor. Had the 13 contested gets last week as well, so doesn't mind any sort of facet of the game.
We'll have to worry about Ryder and Hill pushing forward. That's what we'll have to focus on today, because Ryder and Hill can push forward and kick some goals.
Jude Bolton and then McVeigh playing against his brother today. Gets a toe poke towards half forward. Stolen by Hanbury, last week's best on ground. Inside to White. Has the shot at goal. Perfect start for Jesse White and the Swans.
Moment. And you see Mumford there just to the left of the screen.
Mike Pike, in fact.
Mike Pike, sorry. Well, yeah, that's a confusion there that they create Hill and Ryder.
And you're right, Mumford probably, with the more experience as a footballer, would have cured that contest better. Bevan thrown off it. Davey gives it up. Watson a chance. Decides to pass off instead. Zaharakis another opportunity. Gambleton from the square goals and scores a level. Hill crunches the pack. Davey collects the crumb. Short pass. Tough one to grab. Good tackle on Zaharakis by Matner. Harry Rowan slung into the deck.
He's gone.
And had his prior opportunity according to the umpire.
Did he have prior opportunity?
Well, the umpire says he did, but
I'd like to have another look. And look, again, it's the tackling pressure of Essendon. Great from Leroy Jetta. I'd like to have another look.
Heavy contact as well.
There's the ball. He's got it.
Lifted his arms up, maybe. It was the prior opportunity by lifting the arms up, but it's tough.
Well, the arm was pinned as well, so he couldn't brace for the fall or execute the handball.
I thought the tackle was at the same time he handled the ball.
Yeah.
To me, that's not prior.
Leroy Jetta spears that straight over the goal umpire, and the Bombers are back in front.
Very good reflexes.
Like a boxer. Jude Bolton. Back to Shaw.
Good corralling from the Bombers here.
Well, they need someone to present at centre-half forward.
Josh Kennedy running hard.
And gets there to make a contest with Howlett. Ball hits the pack. Jesse White topo was good. And he gets the reward. Back onto it. Can kick his second. Drives it home. Outstanding team goal.
I think it's playing at Essendon's hands.
Well, that's a low percentage pass to the boundary line in a
Play
contest.
fair. Almost off hands. That'll do. Goal for Nick Smith. Hurley sends it long and wide, but not really to Gumbleton's advantage. And he does well.
Good duel.
Almost a toe on it. Pick up superb by Atkinson.
Oh, great tackle there.
Just got the kick away. Davey inside 50. Strong mark.
Well, I thought Reece Shaw was going to get a fist on that. You can see he's hunched over there, Reece Shaw. Great mark from Davey, not known for his contested marking. Thought the run and tackle there from the Sydney player.
Might have been Jack, was it? Or Bevan.
Bevan it was terrific. Might have been enough to cause a turnover. Just see Reece Shaw probably not aggressive enough in the spoil there. He just assumed he was going to get a fist on the ball, but terrific mark from Davey.
Having a very accurate season too. 10 goals, 4, and that was never in doubt. The Bombers are back in front. Howlett peels onto it. Back to McVeigh. Prismal. Hurley running off half-back. Now McVeigh to set it up again. Lead comes from Zaharakis. Just over his head. Lonergan hits it nicely. Hits the kick pretty well too. Towards the goal square. Bounces it through. Biggest lead the Bombers have had. 7 points. Play on advantage. Kennedy breaks free. Running back to the square. Play fair. It'll be his ball. He's in a good spot for it and almost marks it. Just carried on him a little too far. Did that hit the post?
Well, what he did there, he tried to look for the body instead of reading the ball. He tried to look for the body on Hurley.
Spot on,
read the ball.
That's spot on. He tried to engage contact, body contact. Didn't feel him. In the end, he'd run under the ball. So, yeah, just a little bit of an error.
McVeigh mops it up regardless.
Where do you move him to help him get into the game? Is it a little bit of a run on the ball, ruck rover, follow the ball around?
I think if Daniel Bradshaw's there, that they'll be doing that now, Lynchy. But the facts are their midfield are going well, and you take Goods out of that forward line without Bradshaw, that's a terrific tackle.
Malcheski inside 50. Gary Rowan hit the pack hard. Jude Bolton handball. Back to Rowan. Another outside of the boot kick.
Good goal.
Gary Rowan goal. Sydney in front by 5. Welsh hawking from half-back. Lonergan flies. In fact, he protected Lovett Murray. Runs onto it. Shorts it inside 50. Grundy to his own advantage, or the boundary line. Lovett Murray keeps it in. Slips it around the body. Lonergan, second grab. Welsh back into the team. And back on target. Pairs to Welsh. A little 1-2. Monfries. He had Ryder, but he was a little too wide. Still gives it there, and Mumford gets there first.
Oh, well done, Mummy.
Knocked it down to Grundy. Back inboard to Kennedy. Malcheski, and Bevan could go all the way if he wants to. From 55, that's a long bomb. Brilliant. Swans back in front. Pulled out. Sydney by 5 points. Howlett.
They're away at the Bombers.
A wobbler to half forward. Prismal. Melksham. He can kick a long ball too. Heads toward the square. Gumbleton gets back. Brilliant.
Grundy all at sea there. Just lost his direct opponent in Gumbleton. But it started in the middle of the ground. The break to space for the Bombers. All the Sydney Swans midfielders were in close. The Bombers spread and really did cut the half-backs apart, but Grundy won't be too happy with the positioning on Gumbleton in that instance.
Now, the kick was a good one. It was over to the fat side, to the space.
9 lead changes we've had, and Essendon lead by behind. In the shadows of half-time, inboard Lovett Murray.
Great kick, great run from Lovett Murray.
Wide here.
Took the step, floats it over the top. Howlett, good grab.
That is the perfect transference of play. The ball was on the wing, and then took that risky kick, but a dangerous kick in there, and that's the difference in the moment, just the ball use, but great transference of play there from the Bombers.
I love Murray's work rate to get from the half-back flank into that position where he was usable. 55 metres out from goal was exceptional, certainly honoured by an outstanding kick, but even his kick in the end to find this target was useful.
Not sure when Ben Hallett knew he was playing today, with Brent Stanton unable to take his place, but he drives that through, and again the Bombers out to a 7-point lead. He kicks a prayer. Ryder can't mark it. Kennedy back into traffic to get that handball away. Does roll it to Matner. Play fair. Jude Bolton.
Jesse White will have to run here.
He's got 2 to beat here, Jesse White. Bouncing ball. They both come at him. Dances around one. Kicks over the other towards Goods. Half volley. Should give it back to White. He doesn't. He gives it toward Dempsey, who should have done better than that.
Good use of the body from White, though.
White, Jude Bolton, McVeigh should kick this goal or hand it over the top. He does. Rowan from the top of the square, and it's back to a 1-point Bomber lead.
Spell.
Play on. These teams level on the ladder, essentially. 5 wins, 5 losses coming into this contest. 7th and 8th on the AFL ladder.
Right there, Shane.
Sydney Swans with Port Adelaide next week, and the Bombers with the Cats. Malcheski, Jetta beats him to it.
It was a beautiful kick. Malcheski went under the ball. The ball dropped. Didn't read it that well. Terrific mark from Jetta. Malcheski won't like what he sees in the review come Monday or Tuesday, because he ran under the flight of the ball here. You can just see he misjudged it and went one-handed as well. So he won't like the look of that Malcheski. That's not good enough. Good mark from Jetta, though. But didn't like to be under that high ball there, Malcheski.
No, he didn't. That is not a good one. Players aren't proud of those sort of efforts. Just had to stay under it. Back.
To give the Bombers back the lead. Early stages, 3rd term. He's already got 1 to this end. And the Bombers lead by 4.
Mr. Roos?
I wouldn't have thought so. You know yourself firsthand, Spud. It's been in the coach's box and those sort of situations.
Yeah, it's tough, but you've just got to call as you see it. Lynchy, as simple as that.
Mumford to Kennedy to Rowan, who got one high, and almost in the blink of an eye, the Sydney Swans can take the lead back again.
I need to capitalise on their clearance work. Mumford again, out of the centre, another clearance. And just see here, Courtney Dempsey too high with her hands. It's frustrating because you need to keep your hands low, tackle with your torso, and then wrap around with your arms low.
It's just reckless, that. Just have to be lower.
He's kicked 2 goals, Gary Rowan.
He has kicked 2 in the 2nd term. Another huge kick. That'll come back with the breeze. There's been 13 lead changes in this game. Swans by 2 points. Zaharakis sprints clear at half-back. Not a lot to go to. Floats it up in the Welsh direction. Bevan.
Front on.
Said front on contact against Welsh.
Yeah, we took his eyes off the ball. That was the key there. Bevan was in the right position. Just wasn't a great kick. It didn't go to Welsh's advantage.
So, Spud, who helps Ryder out? Does Gumbleton go for a run in the ruck?
Turnover. Jetta's got Davey. Good luck catching Davey. Could have run a little further. Doesn't matter.
That's a shocking turnover.
And the Bombers are back in front again. Big block on Watson. O'Keefe had a little piece of it. Prisman likewise back towards O'Keefe. Not clear. Davey thought about sinking the slipper in. Jude Bolton to Mumford, and they're away in the clear. Hanbury to Kennedy. Went back, picked it up. Got a couple of options. Goods, White, Hocking. Again knocks it down, but Rowan was waiting for it. To Goods, over the top to White. He can kick his 3rd. Floats it. McVeigh got a hand to it. Bird trying to scoop it up. Howlett to a 1-on-1. Welsh inside 50. Big fist Bevan knocks it down. Atkinson tries to shrug Grundy. Got a kick away. Welsh goal square. Bouncing ball. Bevan, he flicked it back. McVeigh.
Great play.
Well worked, Bombers. And they're in front by 2 points. Wobbly throw in. Missed everybody. Malcheski runs into a tackle. Dumped into the deck. Ball up.
Yeah, I think that's all that was missing from that contest, Spud, was voice. Gary Rowan was putting the block on. Jetta had decided to go, but as you know, you go a lot with a lot more confidence if there's voice as well.
And the silence is deafening too, on the other hand too, isn't it?
You can hear the footsteps coming.
Play fair to Jetta, kicks inboard, just misses Jude Bolton. Off hands though, they've got the numbers. Grundy, Hanbury, slick hands, Matner, long kick at the ball, gives it some air. High, Adam Goods waits under it. Hocking, Goods!
Well done.
Boy, took a half step to play on there, Adam Goods.
Terrific grab. That's his hardest attempt all day, and he's taken the hardest one. Whereas the rain starts coming down, Lee Colbert.
It is, Colby. You won't get him. He'll be up under the grandstand. But spot on. We know on the lead it's hard to take the mark in the hand, especially when you're out of touch. But the chest mark under the long, high ball is a lot easier. And he's certainly got the body strength to outmark his direct opponent.
He's kicked 3 behind so far in Goods.
After a horror game in front of goal last week, he threads it. And he threatens. Changes. Dempsey kicks it inboard. Ryder. Players marking on their chest now with this slippery ball. A minute to three-quarter time. Puts it up. O'Keefe does go.
Well done.
Big
Good
fist.
courage.
Down to Melksham. Tries to run through trouble. Gets the handball up. Zaharakis from 40. Kicks toward goal.
Great goal.
We've got another lead change. Bombers by a point. Pumps it back long. A kick and hope. Adam Goods is down there. White's with him. Hocking.
He's been good, Hocking.
He has been outstanding. Kirk dives in. Off hands. Hack forward. Bevan. Oh, he thought about it, but he can go back and give the Swans the lead.
Great work from Kieran Jack again. In congestion, his ability to get the ball onto the boot quickly was outstanding.
Kirk's initial assault on the ball was unbelievable. That's what you want from your skipper, Captain Kirk.
First goal of the final term puts the Sydney Swans in front by 5 points.
It's been a cracking game, Spud, and in these conditions is just going to enhance the game. Kirk has been outstanding. He's had 13 disposals, but the attack on the ball, as you pointed out, has been just outstanding, as it always is. But he had to put his head over the ball, going low and hard. Bevan held his width. I mean, there's a mass of players around the ball. There's nothing wrong with holding your width as an attacking player. And a lucky kick, or a good kick, lucky spot, good mark.
As is the modern game, Paul Bevan kicks 2 goals and runs to the bench. And just a real brain fade there from one of the Essendon boys to allow Bevan to get goal side unopposed.
They're tossing the ball up now in the middle, and that didn't favour Mumford then. Knock on, Winderlick for the lead back for the Bombers, sends it long. Roberts Thompson marked down on the line. He could have punched it through. Presence of mind there. He just took the mark.
He's like a wicket at the moment.
He's getting those back there. And they've got a loose man in defence, and that is Grundy.
He's played on. He's played on outside the line.
Played on, ran outside, and the umpire allowed it.
No, the umpire actually put his hand up, then decided against it, the boundary umpire.
But when he kept running forward, so it meant that he was outside the line.
Welsh to Atkinson. Feeds it wide. Hocking an opportunity, runs off Goods, pumps it long. Gumbleton, Watson, Roberts Thompson. Malcheski had it but lost it. Ball knocked back out. Jetta plays for the free.
Tough in there.
Smith plays for the ball. McVeigh, Roberts Thompson bumped on the kick. Bouncing ball. Big gather coming up here.
Trouble.
That was huge. McVeigh dived in, but he's over it. Jude Bolton. Boundary line was what he was seeking. He doesn't get it. Myers. Corralled, caught. Kennedy drags him down. Dempsey takes it across. 8 minutes left.
Let's have a look at this replay. You just see Matner mark the ball. Now there's the mark.
He's over the line by a foot.
Played on.
We didn't see the
umpire. Trying to keep the ball in. Now,
the umpire in the background actually live. He put his hand up to signal, but then thought better of it and let it go.
McVeigh free against Hanbury.
He's been outstanding on Hanbury. Hanbury's only had the 10. 25 last week.
Puts it up high. Gumbleton. Watson off hands. Kicks toward goal. It's wide. And a ball in. A win for the Bombers. A behind, no good for them right now.
Good in this situation. Good with their clearance work. Good with the big body ruckman. On this occasion, it was Mumford who'll come over and contest with Gumbleton.
Gumbleton with the knockdown. Malcheski runs into a tackle. Dragged down. It came out as you heard the umpire say. Not clear. Melksham gives it up. He ducked into that Dempsey and now he's gone.
Too long of a tackle. 50 metres.
And 50, that's harsh.
Well, that hurts.
It really hurts because they were pressing the Bombers and now it relieves the pressure valve.
100-metre penalty.
100-metre penalty.
Kicking the ball away. Second one for abuse.
Yeah. Well, there's your explanation from umpire Simon Meredith. 50 metres for the kick after the free and another 50 for the abuse.
Well, Matthew Knights will be absolutely filthy because you've gone outside the realms of team. You can see Matty there. I feel for Matty Knights because they're right in the game here. Yeah, you've just taken... You've gone outside the realms of team, purely and simply. You can argue as much as you like. You wear the 150.
Because the ball got kicked away and then it's clear abuse.
Yeah, lack of discipline. That's all it is. In these sort of conditions, that's a massive penalty.
Let's go through it. Really hurt.
That could be the game loser. He's missed. Marty Mattern normally more reliable than that. And it's a 6-point game. One kick in it. And given that scores were level at half-time and at three-quarter time, we might get a draw yet.
I'll tell you one guy's relieved of that, Courtney Dempsey.
Oh, isn't he? What? I mean, it's probably typical of today's game. The margin hasn't been more than 7 points for the game. That would have blown it out to a massive 11.
Dempsey thumps it long. Roberts Thompson there. Couldn't get near it for the spoil. Lonergan was there but couldn't mark it. O'Keefe overruns it. Lonergan back in. Drags it down.
He's in trouble. Oh, he got it out. Well
got it out just in time. Mattner slung. He's trying to make amends for his miss. 6.5 minutes left. Malcheski thumps it wide. Boundary line a little too quick for everyone. And we'll get a ball in it. Everyone can take a breath.
Mumford to come to the bench, which is interesting. Pike going back on with only 6 minutes to go.
I reckon that'll be only for a couple of minutes, Colby.
2-minute burst. Some experience from Jared McVeigh in that contest. The last one had the opportunity to hit a player high for Essendon, but it was very much controlled.
Jetta had it but slipped. Back in there. Pack forms. Ball up, and the umpires have been tossing it in the air in this final term.
Well, there's Grundy going behind the play again. So he'll be the loose player. And if Essendon get a quick kick out of this pack, Essendon got an extra run at the stoppage, which is okay. If they win it quickly, Grundy's on his own inside Essendon's forward 50.
And he spent most of this quarter as the loose man, which is a good move. His equivalent at the other end of the ground. Trying to work out actually who it is. It looks Dempsey.
From the ball up. Jetta thought about going off the deck. Prismal, little toe poke, Jetta. And we'll get another ball in and we're inside 6 minutes. Huge game this for momentum. Essendon come into this game having won their past 3 games. Sydney Swans came in having lost their past 4.
Now Bevan's been pushed forward as an extra player in the forward 50 for the Swans.
Howlett tries to rake it free. O'Keefe knocks it free. Jack, Winderlick, Shaw, ball in.
This is a clear win, I think, for the Sydney Swans with the Grundy situation. Loose man defence, and has been managing to find a little bit of space where Essendon's spare player, he's in congestion. He's been surrounded by the forwards like Playfair, and I think it's Bevan who pushed up to surround
Away the Bombers.
Atkinson wobbles it to half forward, attacking at Mattner, left it behind. Roberts Thompson, clever toe poke pickup, dragged down, lost it, no free. Mattner attacks it, almost a little overzealous there. He pushed Jetta into the deck and will get a ball up.
A little unlucky, I think, Leroy Jetta on that occasion. Could have got a push in the pack decision. Comes away from that contest a little bit sore, actually.
Pike down to McVeigh. Jetta couldn't get a toe on it. Welsh dives in. Jack just as hard. Welsh gets the handball out. Mattner gets it on the boot. A behind to be handy for the Swans here. Hurley too high on Bolton. Bolton wins the free.
He deserves it. He's been absolutely unbelievable to start this last quarter. That's his 9th contested possession this quarter.
Gives to Malcheski, thumps it long, wide, inside 50. Second, third grab. He can seal the deal.
He's got a big Jesse White. That's a very good contested mark. A second grab as you should do in wet conditions, even hit it with the flat palms to make sure the ball pops up. Second grab as Mike Pike comes from the ground to give Big Mummy a run for the last few minutes. Here's the contact on Bolton. Now, he's always a massive chance to get high contact and get a free kick because he spends most of the game with his head over the ball. So it was a great effort, as was this. Jesse White put it up in front, second, third grab. Now a shot at goal from 35.
Huge kick this, bends it back, hits the top of the post, but they lead by 7.
Just getting back to Jude Bolton. He's had the 34 disposals, 25 contested possessions, and 12 tackles.
Play on.
Lovett Murray called to play on. Threads the handball through to Welsh.
Watson's long.
Ton of time left. 4 minutes and change. Watson, good chest mark. Simply needs to go back and kick the goal, and he knows it.
He'll try and either pass this. A couple of weeks ago, he feigned that he's going long, and then all of a sudden he squirted it out to the fat side. You have a look at him looking around, so it'll either be a handball.
I'm not sure if he can afford to do that.
Or Hurley. Is Hurley going to come around the back? No.
He doesn't know how long left. He looks up at the scoreboard. It says 26 minutes, and he knows there hasn't been many goals scored this final term. He's the captain. He's the best and fairest. He's the hero if he kicks this and keeps them alive. It's short, off hands, play on. Jenner! He's slotted it! It's a 1-point game!
Almost from the same position as that 1996 prelim final where Tony Lockett had the kick from a similar sort of distance. He kicked the point but carried the distance. On this occasion, it was to a dangerous situation. Told the pack, massive players. He would have liked to have thought the Swans defenders could get it rushed through for a behind. But some nice work from Leroy Jetta to kick it off the ground, scrub one through the goals. Marty Mattner's done all he could to get the foot onto it, but was a little slow.
Well, he's been unbelievable. The Sydney defenders, Mummy's tried to take the mark. I'm not sure whether he should have come in with the flight of the ball and hit it through for a point, but game on.
Absolutely, and the clearance important here. And Essendon get it. Watson to Atkinson. Slips a pass, but it's way wide. 27 minutes gone, 3 minutes left. Sydney by a point. There's been 19 lead changes in this game.
Essendon just about on their feet. They've only had the one player on the bench in the last quarter.
And this man, Ryder, he's been doing a power of work and wins the tap out.
Mumford slips, goes back in. Myers with him. Ball slides out. If you've joined us late, the biggest lead we've had, and both teams have had a share of it, has been 7 points. It's been tight from the get-go.
It's 130 interchanges to Sydney, 107 to Essendon. Lack of numbers, lack of run, lack of rotation.
Mumford down to Jack. Kirk can't shuffle it out. Tied up in there initially. Malcheski tries to get through traffic. Gives to Kirk. Needs to flick this up. Does. Mumford gets a boot on it. Wide ball. Rowan. Hurley. Hurley thought about keeping it in. Rowan sends it inside 50. White gets there. Slides in. Can't half volley it. Ball back alive. Pears threads his way through. Myers back into traffic. Back to Pears. Back to Myers. Back towards a teammate. Knocked away. Myers back in. Over it. Got it. Gone.
Gone. Cooked.
Oh, gee. Well, we got 2 and a bit minutes to go.
And Gary Rowan has just come on the ground. There was a change. Playfair. Ruse made the change. Playfair came off. Gary Rowan just went on about 30 seconds ago and got involved 3 times.
Well, Gary Rowan wouldn't know how long left. There's 29 minutes gone. He might think the siren's about to go here.
Well, here's where he does need to go for a goal, because another point would be a good result.
Should have used more time. Kicks it low and kicks the point to give it back to the Bombers.
The Bombers need a goal to win.
Well, the Bombers have been good getting out from their kick-ins.
Need to play man on man now, Sydney. No free player whatsoever.
Well, they've got to know what they're doing, whether it was a zone or man on man. They've got to be
down the middle.
Place quickly.
The behind has at least made the draw unlikely. Welsh wide. Dempsey bangs it long. Bouncing ball. Lonergan gets there. Grundy gets there. Roberts Thompson to help out. Tied up. Stolen. Crowd roar. Hanbury shoots it over the top. Bird from the wing. long towards Goods, off hands. Goods and Rowan both down there. Rowan overran it. It'll be fitting if Jude Bolton was the hero.
Bolton
Gives it to Goods. Set up by Jude Bolton. And Goods makes it an 8-point lead. It's the biggest the lead's been all day.
Oh, Jude Bolton, we've talked about him all day, Alistair. That was another contested possession. He's had 26. 26 contested possessions. You can talk about possessions in today's football, but he's won the hard ball. Have a look at this run of carry here from Sydney. They've willed themselves to this contest, and there's Bolton again. Great awareness, took the tackle on, knew that Goods was out the back, and Adam Goods. What a magnificent goal. Great team goal. Great play, Jude Bolton.
You just can't keep a great man down. Adam Goods, 2 goals. He's had a lean day at the office. They are 1 minute away.
Dwayne, is this the biggest lead of the game?
Absolutely. Watson.
8 points.
It's taken nearly 4 quarters to get the biggest lead of the day.
To Hurley. McVeigh just need to maintain possession here. Almost don't need to go forward. If they go back, they'll win. He heads wide. Boundary line will win. Canterbury knows it.
That's a good kick from Reece Shaw. Identified there was a one-on-one contest, so speared the ball in low towards his teammate and also the boundary line. And I think Mumford in this situation should better bottle this up. He won't be looking to clear the contest.
Mumford down. Shaw. The Sydney chant rings around the SCG, and we'll get a ball in with 37 left. Won't be enough time for the Bombers. They're quick, but they're not that quick.
Mumford once again look to keep it low towards the boundary line.
Mumford slaps it down. It's been a tight, hard, fierce contest all afternoon. Second half played in rain, and Matthew Knights knows his boys will go to the halfway point of the season tonight. 5 wins and 6 losses. The Sydney Swans will be the opposite. They'll be 6 and 5.
They've been brave, the Bombers. You can't underestimate the lack of numbers on your bench.
Speaking of brave, Jude Bolton towards full forward. No mark taken. Goods peels onto it. Kicks around the body toward goal high. Off hands. Behind.
25 clearances between Bolton and McVeigh. 56 clearances to Sydney, 30 to Essendon. 14 to McVeigh, 11 to Jude Bolton.
And Mumford, after 42 hit-outs last week, he's up to 46 at the moment.
There's been many stars for Sydney. A magnificent, incredible, inspiring victory. An outstanding game to watch. It's a pity there had to be a loser.